Hello students, standard 10 subject social science, and you just see over here chapter number 3, cultural heritage of India, sculpture and architecture. Now these all chapters are interlinked with each other. For example, in chapter number 1 we have seen that chapter 1 heritage of India. In that we learn that cultural heritage and natural heritage. Then chapter number 2, that cultural heritage of India, traditional handicrafts and fine arts. In that we have seen different traditional handicrafts as well as fine arts, dance, music, all the classical dances, tribal dances, like that. Now chapter 3 is that same cultural heritage of India. Now here two more important words were added. Just see that sculpture and architecture. So it is our most important word, so we must have to be understood this word sculpture and architecture. So first of all, in simple way we can say, what is the meaning of sculpture? We can say now sculpture means to make a design or to carve out the design on with the facial expressions on idols with the help of, you can say, hammer and chisel. Understood? It's a simple meaning, but if you want to write the definition of sculpture, so you can write that the art of shaping figures or design with, you just see that the art of shaping figures or design with facial expression, in round or relief professionally. We can say that here towards round and relief professionally perform by a sculpture, we can say, or we add also with the help of chisel and hammer, with the help of chisel and hammer. Now that is known as a sculpture, and the person who did, you can say, who did this work to make the or to come out this facial expressions, or you can say design on a particular, or you can say statue, that person is known as sculptor. Here it is sculpture and that person is known as a sculptor. So the word is clear here, we can say that sculpture. Now our next word is that architecture. Now I hope that you have heard this word architecture. What is architecture? In simple word we can say that architecture means that we can say art of construction. And if you remember, I think so that if you heard about this architect also, there is a difference between you can say engineer and architect. So here architecture, it means we can say that the art of construction. Generally, the word vastu is used. The word vastu is used for the architecture in Sanskrit language from ancient time. If you remember that, understood? The word vastu, we are familiar with this word also, because in Sanskrit language for the art of construction the word is used vastu. Now what is the, you can say, meaning of art of construction? You know that we are constructing lots of things. For example, we can say buildings, houses, forts, towns, gates, windmills, temple, mosques, tombs. These all are called as art of construction. For example, I will write over here buildings, houses, well, tomb, gates, forts, temples, even though mosque. This all, you can say, construction of this all, it is called architecture. Understood? And as we know that India has can say wide variety of in the field of architecture, because we know that so many palaces, or you can say places, we have seen in chapter number 6 that you can say that is constructed by our ancient people, or you can say ancestors. For example, Taj Mahal is one of the best thing constructed by our Mughal emperor. For example, you can say Red Fort or Fort of Agra, etc. is constructed differently by our Mughal emperors. Now here two words is explained, so now we will discuss another topic, that is we can say that how the town planning was in ancient time. Now students, our next topic is that ancient Indian town planning. It may ask for 2 marks or 3 marks. Generally, the ancient, they will use the word ancient. It means that how the town planning of India in ancient time. Understood? Right now we know that our town planning is totally different, but you know that we all learn these things from our ancestors only. That we will discuss later also. For example, during our excavation work, we found that the town planning of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro is one of the best town planning in the entire world. That is also we will discuss, but right now we will discuss that ancient Indian town planning. But here we can say that India has acquired the expertise in the field of town planning. Many such towns have been found out during the excavation work of in ancient time, and this town was divided into 3 categories, we can say. Which category? Total 3 categories. So which are the 3 categories that we will discuss? Now first one is that the entire town was divided into 3 categories. So now the first one is that forts of rulers, we can say that forts of rulers. Now second number, forts of rulers, we can understand those who are rulers, it means kings. Those who are kings, or you can say having the high post in the ancient time, they will be, or you can say called that forts of ruler. For them the forts were constructed. Second number is that houses of administrative officers. Houses of administrative officers. Houses of administrative officers. And third one is that very simple, that we know that first one is the ruler, second one is the houses of administrative officers. So third one is that residence of common people, or you can say local people. Now you just see that we have written that the ancient town planning was divided into 3 categories. Now how they were situated, that is the most important thing. Now forts of ruler. First of all, we can say that forts of rulers were acquire a huge area. It means their forts will be constructed into the vast areas, and it is on the topmost of the town, or you can say upper part of the town. Why? Because they are the rulers. That is why during the excavation work, the historians found out that it might be happen that rulers were living in the top in the town, because that area was constructed with the huge palaces, as well as that construction of that palaces are, you can say, too unique. That is why we believe that forts of rulers were constructed into the top of the town, or you can say to the upper part of the town. Now houses of administrative officers, you know that the royal peoples, or you can say king or queens, will be having their administrative officers. It means they were you can say appointed as a for, you can say, special work. They have to carry out some you can say special task also, we can say that. So administrative officers were also living to the upper houses, or you can say in upper part. Now these houses are also huge, but it's not huge than the forts of the, you can say, rulers. But these houses are, you can say, huge. They will be having 2 to 5 rooms, and this is also constructed in such a way that they will be having the, you can say, fortress. It means they have given the security. For the security reasons of pretext, the entire houses was constructed in such a way that they will be having the wall around their houses. So this is the houses of the administrative officers. Now the local people, or you can say common people, those who are residents into the lower part of the town, we can say lower part of the town. Now you just see the students, lower part of the town, in the sense we can say that it is the last area of the town which is situated, you can say, exactly to at a lower part, and generally these houses were constructed with the handmade bricks, we can say handmade bricks, because these houses are we can say houses of the local people or common people. They will be having only 1 to 2 rooms, not more than that. So here students, you have completed the 2 or 3 marks questions. We can say that ancient Indian town planning, that town was divided into 3 parts: forts of the rulers, it is called citadel also, houses of the administrative officers, even though houses of the local people. That's all we have discussed, understood. But now we can say that this ancient Indian town planning having their own, or you can say, unique system to build the towns, and in that we can say that among all of them, the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, I write here the name so you can understand, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, these are the best town planning or sites which we found during the excavation work of the ancient time. Now we will understand next one is that town planning of the Mohenjo-daro. That is our next topic. So we will discuss town planning of the Mohenjo-daro. Now students, our next question is that explain the town planning of Mohenjo-daro. Now it may ask that in exam that explain the meaning of Mohenjo-daro and describe its town planning. It means that at that time you must have to write the meaning of Mohenjo-daro. So here we write the meaning also and town planning of Mohenjo-daro also. So it may ask for 3 marks. So first of all we can say that in 1922, archaeologists you can say that Rakhaldas Banerjee, I will write over the name over here. And Dayaram Samni, they found out that in 1922 archaeologists like Rakhaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Samni, they find out this town planning, or you can say they carried out this town planning of Mohenjo-daro under the guidance of you can say Sir John Marshall and Colonel Mackay. So this is the first point that we have just given the little information about the Mohenjo-daro. During you can say 1922, archaeologists Rakhaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Samni found out this base town planning under the guidance of Sir John Marshall and Colonel Mackay. Now, so first we have written that. Now second one is that location of the Mohenjo-daro. Where exactly Mohenjo-daro is located? So Mohenjo-daro is located in Larkhan district. Now is it in Pakistan. So Mohenjo-daro is found over the Larkhan district in Pakistan. So this is the location of Mohenjo-daro that we written in second point. Now third point, what is the meaning of Mohenjo-daro? So you can write the meaning also. Mohenjo-daro means heap of the dates. Heap of dates. Now you just see here, Mohenjo-daro means heap of the dates. Heap in the sense in Gujarati we can say dagro. Understood? So it is called heap of the dates. Now another one is that the town planning of Mohenjo-daro is the base town planning. Town planning of Mohenjo-daro was based, or you can say unique. The town planning of Mohenjo-daro was based or unique. Now at there how or which kind of the houses were constructed in Mohenjo-daro. That is the most important thing that we need to learn. The houses were built. Houses were built on high plinth. High plinth. Now, what is the meaning of plinth? That we need to understand. High plinth, or you can say high plinth, or you can say high, or you can say one kind of platform. So, what is the high plinth? To protect them from floods and dampness. Look at right now what we are doing when we are constructed our new house. And generally we construct our new house to up from the road level, because we know that during the monsoon season, if heavy rain falls, the rainwater should not come in our house. That is why we construct our house, you can say, at a high plinth. It means it is you can say somehow upside from the road side. So that things or concept was given by the town planning of Mohenjo-daro. You can understand that how they were clever. Understood? During that time, houses were built on the high plinth to protect them. It means to protect the houses from the floods and dampness. Understood? Now, second one is that which kind of the houses? We know that is on the high plinth, but afterwards we can say that which kind of the houses will be there. Generally, the rich people will be having double storied houses. Rich people will be having a double storied housing, or having 5 to 7 rooms. Whereas the poor people, next point we can write about that. Whereas the poor people will be having single storied houses, and they will be having 2 to 3 rooms. Very simple. The rich people will be having the double storied house. It means a 2 floor we can say, and they will be having 5 to 7 rooms throughout their houses. Whereas the poor people will be having single storied only, and they will be having 2 to 3 rooms. Apart from this, we can say this entire house will be fortified. Due to protection of other wild animals or other, you can say, reasons, they were constructed their house with a fortified. It means one kind of fence we can find around the house. Next one is that main entrance of the house, open on the side lanes, not on the main roads. You know that you just see that how the concept they were given during that time. Main entrance of the house open on the side lanes, not on the main roads. For example, if it is the main road and these are the house, understood? So the houses will be having the main entrance to that side. It means that not to the main road side, they will be having you can say in the lanes. It means a gully. We can say a gully or street. So how they were clever with their health or hygiene also. That is why they have put their main doors to the lane side, not to the road side. Now next one will be there. In each and every house we can find that storehouse, kitchen and bathrooms. Now it's a general concept that we have applied also. In our house also we can find the storehouse, kitchen and bathroom. So this concept was given by the time of the Mohenjo-daro. Even the houses will be having doors and windows that make the house airy and ventilated. You know that you you just see that if our house is constructed, understood, it means we not having much windows or doors. So at that time when electricity is not available, we feel too hot, understood, because due to ventilation problem. But they have given that concept of doors and windows that make the houses airy and ventilated. It means air circulation is possible. So this is the entire town planning of the Mohenjo-daro that we have done. You just see that at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 point is there. Out of that 11, at least 9 point you must have to be remembered, because it will be asked in the examination for the 3 marks. So it is most important that we must have to be prepared at least 9 to 10 points. Now we will move towards the next topic, is that roads of Mohenjo-daro. Right now we have completed town planning, now roads of Mohenjo-daro. Now student, next question is that describe the roads of the Mohenjo-daro, and that will ask for 2 marks only. It may ask many times, it will ask, already asked in the board examination, so you must have to be remember this. Now roads are the main features, we can say roads are the main features of town planning, Now next one is that the roads of Mohenjo-daro was 9.75 meters wide, 9.75 meters wide. So it is too enough for the, you can say, if we talk about the widened areas. Now next one is that the small link roads touch, or you can say the small link roads added, or you can say reach to the main road and make a right angle. It means you just see here, for example, it's a small road coming out from the town, and it is you can say highway, or you can say huge road, understood. So they can touch, or you can say reach to the main road and make the right angle. So this is the speciality of this town, that they will be having the roads which make the right angle, small link roads to the main roads. Now the roads are wide enough, so number of vehicles pass at a time. For example, right now you just see that 6-lane roads are available from our government. So number of vehicles can pass at a time, so that roads are wide enough into ancient times also. Now next one is that pits. You know what is pits? Right now what happened on the road, or you can say highway, you just find out that street lights were available, which makes the focus on the road, so we can easily able to see on the roads. So pits on the roadside suggests that suggests that there might be have been lamp post in ancient times. Now next one is that main roads were straight without any turn. Straight in the sense we can say without any turn. Then there are generally two main roads were there. Two main roads there in the town. One is going from north to south and one is going from west to east. Now these both the roads meet at the right angle. For example, one road is going from north to south and one road is coming from west to east, and one road is coming from the north to south. So they are exact making the right angle. So this is the speciality of the roads of Mohenjo-daro. Now we'll move towards the next questions, that drainage system of the Mohenjo-daro. Now students, our next question is that explain the drainage system or pattern. As we know that in our town or house the drainage system is must required. So how or which kind of drainage system will be there in the Mohenjo-daro? So first of all, drainage system is a unique feature of town planning because it must require. Second point is that create in Mediterranean Sea. I have written the keywords only because these kind of drainage systems were not found except create in the Mediterranean Sea. Nowhere it will be found in the entire world. To drain the dirty water out from the town. These drainage system they have created to, you can say, drain the dirty water out from the town. It means they will be having the huge wells. From the huge wells, the water will be passed away from the small tanks, and finally the dirty water gone through out of the village. Each and every house had a cessit. Cessit in the sense we can say one kind of hole, or you can say tank, through which they will be applying or open it and sweep this entire, you can say, drainage system. So from this point of view, we can say that how the people of the Mohenjo-daro thinking about their health and hygiene, so they have applied this kind of drainage system. Next one is that public baths. It means at that time public bathrooms are also used. So in that public bathrooms, arrangement to put the fresh water in and dirty water out. It means the public bathrooms were constructed in such a way that the fresh water coming out and the dirty water going out of the, you can say, bathrooms. Facilities of hot water is also available at that time in the house. Even the small rooms for changing the clothes. It means it is called period. It means in the corner of the house, or sorry, bathrooms, we can say, there will be a small rooms available for changing the clothes. And generally these public bathrooms were used for at the time of festivals and religious ceremonies. Because at that time you know that each and every house not having the facilities of bathrooms. Now next one is that public buildings. Actually in Mohenjo-daro there are two buildings were found during the excavation work. The two buildings, generally when we found these two buildings, it might be we are thinking about that in which purpose or what purpose they are using that building. So there are different purpose of using that building. For example, that might be used for the town hall, or as a theater, or as an administrative office, or you can say granary. Any kind of purpose they are using that buildings. Next one is that it may be possible that there be a accommodation of the soldiers, because when we found these public buildings, that was you can say same kind of houses will be found. So barrack of the houses were found. So it might be they were available these houses for the soldiers. So students, today we have completed that chapter number 3. It means some topics of the chapter number 3. For example, what is sculpture, what is architecture, then ancient town planning, Mohenjo-daro town planning, roads of Mohenjo-daro, drainage system of Mohenjo-daro, public bathrooms and public building. So complete the worksheet carefully, or you can say in given time limit, send your PDF regularly. Thank you.